Hey guys, so it's Sam Grantham here, and today I just wanted to talk about, kicking off this podcast, hopefully make it, a nice and regular thing. Wanted to introduce you a little more about myself and a little more about how Whole Health Club came around and our goals and why our goals that way and, some of the people that I'm in this with. So a little bit about me. I grew up with ADHD. I was a quote-unquote problem child. I did do pretty well in school, so I was always able to get my academics done. I did struggle with, speaking out of turn or my impulse control or a lot of things that will come associated with ADHD. And so this made my interests as a child vast, and I was interested in a lot of things, and I was going to do a lot of things. And it changed by the year. So my parents were always very encouraging, letting me, change my goals and my master plan over and over, and, not one time ever wavering on their encouragement. I'm sure they did get sick and tired of having to deal with some of my issues during school, as far as getting in trouble goes. But they were always super supportive on my random ideas or my constant changing interests. A few things that never changed was I've always been, a skeptic, if you will, or someone who's always trying to find the right answer, someone who always asks why. And I've always loved sports. Sports to me was very definitive. You know what you had to do to win or to be better than the other person, and if you weren't, it was your fault. I get in team games, team sports, it's always that, but there's always something you could have done, and the score's right up there. It's easy to tell, and that's something I've always liked. People who are in, let's say gymnastics, I've always had respect for, because I would not want a judge telling me, I didn't get a certain point for their own reasons, rather than a subjective, this is why I got these points, the basket win in the hoop. But yeah, so kind of going along with that of, me always being a skeptic and always being someone who, questions, what's going on and why it's going on. It's kind of a perfect, segue of how I got involved was, I was in college and I didn't have much direction. I had the privilege of going thanks to my parents, which is a big reason why I did go. I felt like it wasn't an opportunity I could pass up. While there, I changed my major endless times, from general business pre-law to being a special ed teacher to going to getting a management degree. None of which really tickled my fancy. I felt the system to get a degree did not fit my brain. And so from there, I called up my cousin Chase, who was on a pretty definitive plan, got a kinesiology degree, was a strength coach, knew what he wanted. And he was living in Florida at the time. So I called him and I'm like, hey man, I'm sick of Michigan. I want to come down to Florida. I want to change the scenery. And, he was like, yeah, come on down. I got a room. We can make it cheaper for you. Whatever we need to do. And so it was really awesome. So I went down there, moved in with him and who is now fiance, Paige Rogers. And it was just fun. I was just happy to be out of Michigan. I didn't have a direct plan. Long story short, I was going to finish my degree. I was going to go get a job at I think it was called a Pollo Tropical, a fast food restaurant, just to make some money. And after that, when Chase heard I was going to go do that, he was like, dude, don't do that. Come work for this gym I'm at. You'll love it. And I was like, dude, I don't want to train. That's not my thing. He goes, yeah, but you work out, you're in shape. I can teach you other stuff. Plus, it's way better money. You might as well. So I was like, cool, I'll do it for the money, right? That's why I'm going to be in this, is the money. It's all about the money. How much money can I make? And that's what it's been about for me for a while. I was always wanted to go into something that can make me wealthy and money. And I didn't know why I wanted that wealth or why I needed it. I just wanted it, right? Kind of like all of us. We all sometimes just want wealth. We don't always know why or how to get there. And so, about 6 months later, I started training and I fell in love with it. The idea of I get to be in charge. I get to tell someone what to do. Who doesn't like that? But the main part was being able to help people, getting, hey, I fit into a pair of pants I haven't fit in since my 20s. Hearing those types of things on a daily basis make you feel really good about what you're doing, and you're truly having an impact on people's lives. And so we started to see this as, a real opportunity. And what we started to look at, me, Chase, and Paige, was some of the pitfalls in the industry and, some of the things that made it hard. And, one big thing was there's not a lot of support for trainers. Trainers have a hard time because, they're marketing, promoting, cold calling, selling, and training, and designing the programs and branding all on their own. And we've always felt like, a lot of trainers, that's not what they want to do. They're really into it to help the individual they're with for that hour. And so what we wanted to come up with was a way we could have those trainers and give them an hour, just to help that person, and then, handle the other stuff for them. And then the big thing was we used to cook with our clients, and the ones who would cook with us would have tremendous success, but we had to cook at their house. So what we came up with was Whole Health Club, a comprehensive gym with a kitchen focused on personal training and small semi-private training, where we can give each person the individual attention, as each trainer should give their client. As well as a company, we could give each trainer that commitment and that time to help them grow themselves in their training practice and develop this brand. And so we're Whole Health Club. We're the gym with a kitchen, and we've opened, now in Littleton, Colorado. And the concept has been phenomenal. People seem really receptive to it. They love the idea. They know they could need the help in the kitchen. And one thing that separates us is we don't restrict people. We don't tell them, don't eat more, don't count your macros. What we allow them to do is eat as much whole plant foods as they possibly can eat. And, it does upset me sometimes how much people struggle with this, and that I've heard crazy diets that people have been on, extremely low calorie diets, less than 1,500 calories a day. I've heard people eat almost no carbs, or less than 10, 20 grams of carbs a day. And so there's these grapefruit diets, there's these shake replacement diets, and so there's all of these things that people have stuck to and tried and, ultimately fail because they're not what you're supposed to be doing. And at Whole Health Club, we kind of teach you what you're supposed to be doing and what type of food you're supposed to be eating and what type of food you can eat as much as you want of. And we still find more resistance than I anticipated with giving people the freedom to eat as much food as they want if they would simply just eat the foods, we instruct them to eat. I think that will come around. I think with the education of this product, it will come around to people, and we've had some awesome successes. We've had some people lose over 40 pounds. We've had some people drop their cholesterol 50 points. We're working with some diabetics right now to help them get rid of that nasty insulin if we can. So there's a lot of cool stuff that we can do with this, and we're really excited. And one thing I want to talk about is I think people underestimate what it takes to open a business. You always hear the saying, don't go into business with friends and family, and I did both. One of my best friends in Paige Rogers went into business with, and then her fiance, my cousin, Chase Parker, so family and friends right there. And my girlfriend's actually a chef here, Kayla. And so I'm hitting all the marks. And what I found is without those people's support, this would have seemed like an impossible task. If I didn't have people I can fully trust and be a part of this mission with, I don't know, how we would have got this done or how we would have pushed forward. And, there's a lot of trying times when you're starting a business, and when it's bootstrapped, you're always seconds away from an implosion, and it's exciting and it works with my ADHD well. There's a million things to do. And one thing that, has always kept us going is, whether the business is thriving as the way it should be or not, is what we're selling we know works. There's years of evidence behind it. There's actually a new show that our other business partners coming out with. The new show is called The Big Fat Truth. I highly recommend everybody watch it. It's on the Z Living Network when they can. Some pretty incredible things are done in, just a short amount of time with a plant-based diet. So what we're saying isn't things we've come up with, isn't a gimmick that, we've found. It's, been in collaboration with these doctors who have 200 plus experience years combined of clinical research and, nutrition education. And that starts from, T. Colin Campbell, John McDougall, Neil Barnard, Dr. Esselstyn, Dr. Greger, who's one of our favorites, and he's awesome. And so what keeps us going is we know the product we're selling is good for the public and good for no one else. We're not a supplement company hiding in the back. We're a very transparent company, simply asking people to, take advantage of their produce aisle. And I think a big thing is people think small changes make a big difference, and that's true, but big changes also make a big difference. If we're continually keeping a lot of the same habits we have in our life, you'll find that it seems much harder when you all up and change those habits because you want a different outcome, because you want to be different or you want to improve yourself. Things do have to get a little uncomfortable, and you will feel, odd for a little bit, because that's breaking your comfort zone. That's breaking the place that got you where you're at for so long. And so when people come to us, I just really encourage them to, be these awesome pieces of clay and these awesome people that we know, and really just, try to make a dramatic change. You don't want things to feel the same. It should feel different. We're not, people don't come for our 12-week program to then in the 12 weeks have a lot of things feel the same. They really want it to be different. And so the way I encourage that is, think different, be different, act different, live different, change things about yourself. Do something you wouldn't do. Go for a run instead of watch a show. Make a meal instead of that. Get up an hour earlier. I know there's not enough time in the day, but get up an hour earlier. It's not going to hurt for 90 days. So first and foremost, I wanted to give, our concept on Whole Health Club. And basically that's a place for constant support while you transition to a long sustainable diet of consuming plants, and as well as in the short term of committing to this change in the short term and giving yourself what you deserve and seeing this 90 days and getting the success out of these 90 days. Don't veer off. Do it. You guys have signed up for it, and you're paying for it, and we really encourage you to take advantage of that and be the change that you want. And again, I just can't say how lucky I am to be able to have started this product, the gym with the kitchen, with three of my favorite people on earth, to be honest. Kayla's been here since the beginning and constantly growing with us. And with new exciting opportunities of being able to work with someone like JD, who has massive experience in helping people lose over 100 pounds. I don't know if you guys are aware, but he was the creator of The Biggest Loser. And on average, 50% of the people on his show keep their 100-pound weight loss off. That is 10 times the national average of how people keep their weight off, which is only 5% of every 100-pound loss in America is kept off. So he does have some good success on overcoming those mental hurdles. And, those are instilled right down to us. And so any of you guys who may have listened or watched today, I really encourage you, check out wholehealthclub.com. Check out our recipes, give us a call, inquire on our Facebook. We're really here to just spread the message of, living a healthful lifestyle, and that there isn't quick fixes. There's real fixes and there's real changes. And those come through plant-based, and I really encourage you guys to reach out or, maybe get a kickstart on making that decision for yourself. Thanks, guys. Podcast 1, out.